Good morning. It is 9 o'clock, and that means it is time for Daybreak Plus on WGRZ Plus. On this Tuesday morning, we've been talking about it being a little bit chilly, and it may seem chilly to you because last week we hit 70 we had a couple of records, but this is right where we're supposed to be. This is March in Western New York, right?
That's why I like to call it last week when we were experiencing it bonus summer, because that's what it is. It's summer weather, but it's outside the summer season, so it's bonus summer.
And because of that, we're not having the muddy season that we typically have right about now.
Oh, muddy paw season, right?
Oh, yeah.
For pets and anything of that sort. It's actually been fairly dry this month. We're running more than an inch below average when it comes to precipitation. So the ground in general is actually doing a pretty good job right now.
So you get a smaller stack of towels at the back door when Fido comes in from the backyard.
That right?
Got it. And
anybody with a dog, you know that this time of year, it's a battle.
For sure.
It is a battle.
All right. So we've got some big events outside. Bison's home opener Friday. Things looking like they're going to cooperate.
We've been eyeing this forecast, Pete, for quite some time now, and as of right now, that forecast is actually improving here. So we're looking pretty good here for a Friday season home opener. Of course, we're not quite there yet. Certainly not today. It is brisk and chilly, and we got some flakes flying around, some flurries, some light snow showers in and around Orleans County, Wyoming County. That's pretty much what we'll continue to find as we go through the day. Not going to amount to anything other than, you're driving out and about and you see some snowflakes flying around. Notice upstream snow showers picking up a little bit more so as you get into portions of northern Michigan, the UP of Michigan. A little disturbance there. That will drop in roughly around midday tomorrow. And in doing so, we'll even see a round of some scattered snow showers, including even in around the city, especially right around lunchtime tomorrow. So let's track it here on Future Look. As far as the rest of today, nothing more than a few flurries or sprinkles. We'll have some limited breaks of sunshine. But notice temperatures really aren't changing all that much, just kind of hovering for much of the day, mid to upper 30s. And even though it's not as windy as yesterday, there's still enough of a breeze adding an extra chill. It's going to continue to feel as though it's in the 20s. So if you do have any outdoor plans, be prepared for those kind of temperatures. Now, as we head into tonight, we'll have a few scattered snow showers, especially into the southern tier. Outside of that, just a brisk, chilly night. We'll start out tomorrow with temperatures roughly around 30 degrees. Tomorrow's going to be the chilliest day in this little stretch. Highs tomorrow only in the mid-30s. And notice by lunchtime, we do get more activity showing up here on the radar. So getting into some scattered snow showers during the day. And I can't rule out, especially across the higher elevations, where there might be some coatings, especially any grassy or elevated surfaces. It's not going to be sticking around. By the end of the day, even this activity is already tapering off before sunset. So we'll finish up the day actually with some breaks of sunshine. And that clearing will only continue tomorrow night. And that will give us back to sunshine and at least seasonable temperatures here on Thursday. In the meantime, breezy and chilly the rest of today. Limited sunshine, nothing more than that spotty sprinkler flurry I mentioned. Most spots struggling to climb out of the 30s. And then tonight, still can't rule out a flurry or snow shower, especially towards the southern tier. Outside of that, seasonably cold with mostly cloudy skies. Lows 20s to near 30. And then tomorrow, it is a brisk, cold day. A few snow showers, especially during the midday hours. And I can't rule out some coatings, especially into the hills. Highs tomorrow only in the mid to upper 30s. After that, though, temperatures will be climbing. In fact, tomorrow could end up being the chilliest day we see for a long time. Might be some time before we see numbers like that, because again, Thursday, we're back into the mid-40s. There's that Friday forecast for you. We're looking good, and we might even hit that 50-degree mark. Of course, you got that 50-degree guarantee there for the Buffalo Bisons. And then heading into the weekend, more 50s, even some 60s. But the trade-off is with that warmer weather, we also got moisture that's going to be lifting northward, and as a result, we will have some occasional rain as we head towards the weekend, especially right now, Friday night into the first part of Saturday, and in the second half of Sunday. I think that's where rain will likely be most widespread, as you would say, but it's not going to be a washout, even compared to this past weekend. There were some windows of some dry time. I think we'll see plenty of windows of dry time this weekend as well, but there will also be some rain.
All in all, not bad. And you know what, kind of the way this is all played out, ice jam flooding is always typically a concern. And we've had this gradual melt off, and the ice has not become an issue.
About 3 weeks ago, there was that little round where we had the melt and some rain. But the ice jams really never came to fruition. And then ever since, we haven't had that rain to really increase those flows. And now all that ice has been evacuated out of the creeks and streams. So don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah, so the Eddie Cotter can kind of stay in port and not worry about going out to break some ice.
Yep.
But a new campaign to help keep the Edward M. Cotter fireboat afloat is underway. Gene McCarthy's is brewing a new Cotter Icebreaker IPA in honor of the boat's 125th anniversary. For every beer sold, $1 will go to the Edward M. Cotter Conservancy for preservation and upkeep.
And we would like to get the boat into dry dock again to address some issues on the hull. We need to do some engine repairs. We need to do some water line maintenance and some electrical maintenance on the boat. Working boats can live for a long life as long as they're maintained. The Cotter has been refit from coal to oil to diesel and beyond. So we're looking to bring it into its next phase.
Yeah, I'm loving that glass too. Organizers are looking to raise a pint and raise $3 million in total with this fundraiser. And you see the Cotter right there. That's
Yep.
You can see where the fireboat was breaking up ice from Gene McCarthy's. So appropriate video there. Well, you can also help give back to the community by cleaning out your garage. The YMCA is teaming up with the Leveling of the Playing Field. Leveling of the Playing Field is a nonprofit that collects and redistributes sports gear to kids. For the past few weeks, organizers have been out collecting gently used sports gear. And today they'll be sorting through that gear and then give it all to families who may not be able to afford to buy it.
There's a significant cost to playing certain sports. Hockey, for example, you may be putting in hundreds and hundreds of dollars just to get simple equipment items to even try the sport. This equipment here allows kids to experience and try new sports without actually having to put cost out there.
Yeah, the event starts today from 1 o'clock in the afternoon until 3 o'clock. And it's such a great program because, when I was a kid, at the end of every season, you'd have the skate sale or the spike sale. Everyone would bring their own old stuff to wherever the gathering was going to be, and they'd sell it to raise money for the next season. Well, if you can't get it in the first place, that's where the gap is.
And it looked like some of the gear they have there, it's in pretty good shape.
Oh, yeah.
It's in good shape. And I know with my son, whether it was especially shoes, whether it was wrestling shoes, ice skates, football cleats, you're lucky if you get maybe a season or two out of them because their feet are growing so quickly.
Right.
So this is a good opportunity to maybe, again, just add those shoes to the collection, donate it, and then you might be able to, again, kind of inch forward with the sports as your son or daughter's feet continue to grow.
And he pointed out hockey, yeah, that's expensive. But name a sport that isn't expensive. And, you're talking $300 pair of cleats. It's just everything's expensive these days, so every little bit helps. And clean out the garage. Why not? All right, well, the Buffalo Bills and the Buffalo Sabres are joining forces for the 5th year in a row to support the return of Give 716. This event is dedicated at raising money for Western New York charities. Buffalo's Give 716 will kick off at 7:16 p.m. on July 15th. Okay, that's 715, I get it. But it'll run through the end of the day on 716, July 16th. Right now, registration is now open for all local charities interested in taking part. New features this year will include a soft launch on June 30th, as well as a sponsorship matching. And I just love the fact that we've turned the area code into this all-encompassing symbol for the area and also for the giving spirit of Western New York.
It helps that you got the date there, right?
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
I'm sure there's some area codes where we might not have that date to be able to use. Well, again, 716, I also like the fact that here we are, we're talking about July.
Yeah, there you go. And for some reason, it seems right around the corner.
Right? We're getting there. We're almost there.
So plan ahead, but it isn't July. It's still hockey season. And tonight, the Sabres will be back on home ice as they host the Ottawa Senators and a trio of familiar faces. Former Sabres goalie Linus Ullmark could get the start of the net for the Sens. It's also the first trip back, though, for Dylan Cousins and Dennis Gilbert. They were traded at the deadline. But on the other side, it's not clear whether Josh Norris, who came to Buffalo in that trade, will be able to play tonight. He's been out about 2 weeks with a so far undisclosed injury. Tonight's game starts at 7 o'clock. And the Sabres have been kind of a Jekyll and Hyde team all season long.
Unbelievable. You tune in some games they're scoring 6, 7, 8+ goals.
Yeah.
The next, we're struggling to get anything.
But
it's amazing that kind of ebb and flow of what you see out of this team.
Or some games they're scoring 6 goals and allowing 2. Other games they're scoring 6 goals and allowing 7. But it's a tough season to figure out. Hopefully they'll figure it out and retool for next season. But as a Buffalo sports fan, I'm getting tired of saying wait till next season.
The Sabres.
Yeah.
Just got to get there. Got to get there.
And the Bills, too. It's a bigger prize at this point for the Bills. But all right, switching gears, we are in baseball season just about. And baseball fans there, the Bisons are just 3 days away from opening day. And we want to show you a quick preview of some of the top prospects you'll have a chance to see at Salem Field. There are 3 players in the Blue Jays' top 5 prospects who are listed or expected to play in Buffalo this season. Outfielder Alan Roden, pitcher Ricky Tiedemann, and Orelvis Martinez, who's coming back from a performance-enhancing drug suspension last season. In spring training, Roden was one of the best performers, batting over 400 with 11 hits. Martinez also had a pretty good spring, batting over 300.
Nice.
So we'll see.
And the weather is looking pretty good this Friday.
Yeah, well, the stars come out. And, that's the great thing about AAA ball. You'll never know who's going to be on a rehab assignment, and you get to see some stars before they're stars.
I always loved opening day.
Yeah.
Loved opening day.
Yep.
My son actually used to take me, or my dad used to take me out of school. And it's usually an earlier game, so I would miss the last couple of periods to be able to go watch a little baseball. But I always remember it being just so cold, so chilly as you would get this time of year. Well, I think Friday's not going to be too bad. I think we're looking pretty good there.
Bundle up for some baseball. And the major leagues are actually opening Thursday. And the New York Mets are excited to show off their $700 million man, Juan Soto. He sat down with NBC's Peter Alexander as he gets ready for his first game in the blue and orange.
He has one of the biggest bats in baseball and now the biggest contract in all of sports to boot. Juan Soto's payday, $765 million over 15 years, and with it, plenty of expectations.
How do you maintain your focus in that climate?
They give me this for who I am, so I'm going to keep being who I am.
Soto has already drawn comparisons to legends like Ted Williams and Mickey Mantle. After helping guide the Yankees to a World Series appearance last fall, the highly sought-after slugger left one New York team for the other, joining the Mets.
What do you say to those Yankee fans who feel like you left them out in the cold?
I mean, I can't complain about the Yankee fans. They were amazing day in, day out, the whole season last year. But things happen.
At spring training, that big contract has already made Soto a big target.
Overpaid! Overrated!
The 26-year-old Dominican superstar heard that heckler, and in his next at-bat,
Juan Soto. That one is out of here.
Crushed a home run right over his head.
I didn't know I was doing that, but definitely I wanted to do something to show him so he can be more quietly.
Soto is hoping he's the one making noise this season for a team that hasn't won a World Series in nearly 40 years.
I'm not a magician that are going to tell you that what's going to happen this year, but we're going to be up there.
Mets fans are already eyeing that crown as Soto puts baseball on notice. Peter Alexander, NBC News, Port St. Lucie, Florida.
Boy, it is one thing to call your shot, but to do that, it's just unbelievable. I love that when you get to answer back to the fan.
The heckler, too. I mean, it wasn't just like answering to the fan. I mean, he was overrated, overpriced. And then, here you go. Here's overrated for you.
Yeah, exactly. You can't even catch my home run ball. Yeah. There's a great clip of a Chicago Blackhawk years ago who caught a puck in the nose.
Oh, geez.
And as he's skating to the bench, there's a heckler at the front row of the glass who's, giving him the business through the glass. And then later in the game, the puck goes over the glass and hits the heckler.
No.
And he's bleeding, and the Chicago Blackhawks player comes over to the glass. Oh, it's fantastic. I love seeing those things.
Definitely going to have to look that one up.
Anyway, we've got a lot more to come your way, including a check of the weather. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. March Madness is in full swing, and we're taking a look back on some memorable moments from UB. It was 7 years ago that the Bulls won their first ever NCAA tournament game. The number 13 seed UB was going up against the 4th seed Arizona, and the Bulls not only won, they dominated, outscoring Arizona 40-20 in the final 16 minutes of the game to get an 89-68 victory. UB's coach Nate Oates is now with Alabama, hoping to advance against BYU Thursday nights.
I remember that.
Yeah, that was so cool. I mean, with that period, Nate Oates came into town, and they really kind of caught fire, both on the men and women's side. And,
yeah,
you know, the women are playing in the NIT. They're still dancing, so we'll see.
There was even some of the national kind of narrative polling for UB. I remember that tournament, trying to see if they could be that Cinderella story. Ultimately, yeah, I think it was they ended up going out in the round of 16.
Yeah.
But, seems like it was just yesterday, and it was 7 years ago.
Yeah, fun stuff. And on the women's side of the NCAA tournament, heartbreak after one of the top players in the country went down with an injury. USC's Juju Watkins, she's going to need surgery to repair a torn ACL in her right knee. She injured it last night as her top-seeded team faced off against Mississippi State. The sophomore was averaging more than 24 points a game this season, and she's now out for the tournament and likely will miss a chunk of next season as well. USC did advance with a 96-59 win last night. MSNBC reports that the season was the most watched women's college basketball season since 2009.
Wow.
How about that? Yeah.
Yeah. 60. Well, obviously you have last year's excitement kind of building into it, but if you've watched any of the women's games this year, they're exciting. They're high scoring, but they got some star power on the women's side. Some big time star power there.
Yeah,
you saw the star there for Southern California.
And Caitlin Clark obviously took all the headlines last year, but I mean there are just a number of stars in the WNBA and coming out. The Women's Hockey League is catching on. It's time for the women to step up, right? And they're stepping up, no doubt.
They had a game last night. I think went to a double overtime. I mean, that's awesome. I love that.
Yep.
Especially that's what that tournament's all about.
Oh, without a doubt, making dreams come true.
Yep.
Not a nightmare forecast, but certainly not of a dream of forecast right now.
Yeah, we've been kind of warning everybody about this chillier pattern that is setting up. And yeah, the next couple of days we are tracking chillier conditions as we head on over to the Weather Center. We're looking brisk and chilly here today. Nothing more than a few spotty sprinkles and flurries. So overall, not too bad when it comes to the weather. Fairly quiet in that department. But the temperature department, that's going to take a little bit of time where we're going to see some gradual improvement here as we go through the week. So yeah, brisk and chilly today. Most spots struggling to climb out of the 30s. Nothing more than a sprinkle or flurry. Now tomorrow there's a little piece of energy that's going to arrive around midday. And I just want to warn you, especially in and around Buffalo, we are in store for some of those snowflakes to fly around. We're not expecting any accumulation, at least in the city. You get inland and across some of the higher elevations, especially around midday tomorrow. I can't rule out some coatings, especially any grassy or elevated surfaces. Temperatures tomorrow only in the mid-30s. That's about 10 degrees below average. After that, though, temperatures will be warming up as we go throughout the second half of the week. By Thursday, we're back to seasonable levels. And by Friday and the weekend, temperatures are going to quickly return to above average levels. But again, today, after starting out this morning with temperatures low to mid-30s, we don't see much improvement this afternoon. Here we are at 4 p.m., about 39 in Buffalo, Niagara Falls, Gowanda, only 35 in Jamestown, and there'll still be enough of a breeze. It's adding an extra chill. It's going to continue to feel as though it's in the 20s. Tomorrow morning, we'll start out with temperatures upper 20s to around 30. And then tomorrow, we only end up in the mid-30s for a high temperature. And then as we get towards your Thursday, it's a cold, frosty start Thursday morning. But by Thursday afternoon, look at the nice turnaround. This is Thursday at 4 p.m. We're solidly in the mid-40s from Buffalo to Niagara Falls. 43 from Jamestown, and 44 there in Dunkirk. So once we get past tomorrow, so we got one more brisk and chilly one, you can really see temperatures climbing at least into the 50s here as we finish up the week and head into the upcoming weekend. So, Pete, yeah, we do have the brisk and chilly conditions right now. But again, there's that Friday forecast, 52. And I know for the Bisons, they do have that 50-degree guarantee.
Yeah.
We might see that. We might actually hit that 50-degree guarantee. I know yesterday we were thinking maybe 48.
Yeah.
Again, today it's looking a little bit warmer, and that's what I meant. Some improvement as we do finish up the week.
Very good. All right. Well, we're going to switch gears once again.
Okay.
How about your top dog? Who's the top dog? The French Bulldog once again takes the crown for the most popular dog breed. That's according to a new list by the American Kennel Club. The French Bulldog was the most popular purebred dog in 2024, meaning it held its title for 3 straight years. The other 5 most popular breeds kept their ranking from 2023. The Labrador Retriever, the Golden Retriever, German Shepherd, Poodle, and Dachshund. You've got some classics there. Something to point out, the Cane Corso's popularity grew nearly 400% from the year before. Now, you're a dog owner, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Love my dogs.
What kind of dogs do you have?
My first dog was a Newfoundland. So a big old Newfie, a big old black bear. That was my wife and I say first son, if you will.
Yeah.
And then we went with a complete opposite other end of the spectrum. We went with a Vizsla, which is also known as a Hungarian Pointer.
Right.
Now she was my girl. She did pass away about a year and a half ago.
Man.
But she was, if there was ever a perfect dog, she was it. She was awesome.
Yeah.
How about yourself?
Well, our first dog was one of my favorite breeds, the All-American Mutt. It was a Rottweiler Yellow Lab mix, and just
2 other things in there.
It was just a knucklehead of a dog. But then after that, we had 5 greyhounds in a row.
Oh, okay.
So we're
greyhounds.
And we just lost our Marley about a month ago. So maybe a couple months ago. So we're looking at now. Okay, now it's the itch is there. It's like, all right, we need a dog in the house, right?
Right.
Our house is not complete without a dog, right? All right. Well, dogs to goats. The show's going to the animals. Who let the goats out? Take a look at this. Police in Ohio had to chase down a runaway goat on the highway. As the animal weaved between cars, it took officers around 20 minutes before they finally caught it. Yeah, the animal is already becoming a legend in the area, some naming the goat Fugitive. And in Texas, police had to close the highway after 31 cows got loose. The animals were coming from the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, where they escaped from a trailer when the door came unlatched after breaking down. Officials say all cattle were captured and they are accounted for. But traffic was backed up for miles as crews worked to round them all up. And, the horns were blowing and the horns were running to the bulls.
Imagine being one of those vehicles right there, and there goes a bull. Just what?
Yeah, that'd be something that would cause some rubbernecker delays, I'm sure.
It's always the highways, too, that these animals end up finding themselves on.
For sure. Well, have you ever wanted your food right now but wanted to pay for it later? Well, you'll soon be able to do just that. DoorDash is partnering with the Buy Now, Pay Later service, Klarna. That means customers will be able to split their meal bill into 4 interest-free payments or defer the payments to a more convenient time. The service is usually for big purchases, but now no one is stopping you from paying for your burrito over a few weeks. If you can't buy your burrito in one payment, don't buy your burrito, right?
Oh, my goodness. Here's 50 cents a week, right?
Exactly right.
It would be about the payment for that.
Yeah, that's right. And don't bother getting the Coke because that's another 4 weeks, right? All right. Well, thank you for tuning in for this stream here on Daybreak Plus on WGRZ Plus. It's going to be not a bad day to get out and enjoy some time outside.
Yeah, a little chill, but I'd be able to get outside, especially if there's any free breaks of sunshine.
All right. Have a great day, everyone.